Hubeco, founded by SaiPadma. Hubeco is a marketplace for green building materials connecting buyers and sellers of sustainable and eco-friendly construction products. Because building the future shouldn't cost the earth. Your 7 minutes, SaiPadma starts now.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I hope you are as hungry as I am. So we'll quickly wrap this up. Hubeco is a marketplace for sustainable materials, certified sustainable materials. And we have many generic construction marketplaces which have been unicorns. But I felt the need that as we all move towards sustainability, we do not have a marketplace where people can see what are sustainable materials and what certifications do they need to have to become sustainable. Why do we need to be sustainable? Because we all know that 40% of the emissions come from construction, right? So that is where the real problem is. And how can we mitigate this? We are addressing 2 or 3 issues here by adopting sustainable materials. We invested in technology to make an end-to-end procurement platform, and we are trying to streamline supply chains by coordinating with the suppliers. Current problems, of course, access to sustainable materials. Developers do know they have ESG norms, but they don't know whom to approach to and what materials are sustainable. Of course, they also feel that adopting sustainability or buying sustainable materials is expensive. And the suppliers who have these certifications, we really do not know who these suppliers are. And of course, through the platform, since we are directly speaking to manufacturers, we give transparent pricing through the platform. And of course, we are addressing the issue of fragmented supply chains. And the solution is we build a marketplace where we are not just taking an inquiry, but we are giving the entire data of the product which is certified along with their sustainable information. And the manufacturers have the option either to take a request for quote from the buyers, whether it is B2B or B2C, or they could just add to the cart and use our integrated payment gateway to finish the entire purchase. And we only onboard 100% green certified materials. We have automated the entire RFQ and the procurement process. We do not take it offline with just a simple inquiry through the platform. And of course, we directly work with the manufacturers, and thereby we try to reduce the cost as well as have ESG compliance for developers who are going for that. Our competitors, we are the first marketplace in terms of focusing only on green sustainable materials, and we are end-to-end automation right from your inquiry all the way to your order completion. We of course provide sales analytics for our premium subscribers, and we clearly mention the sustainability data and the certifications that these products have. And of course, not the least, the automated RFQ process, which in many of the marketplaces, what you see is that there is an inquiry and then there is an offline team which takes the inquiry and then starts coordinating offline. So far, we were incorporated in May 2024. We went live with the platform in January. Since then, we started onboarding the suppliers. We have about 30 suppliers, 244 SKUs and 70 products. We've done about 7 orders. We're trying to do a pilot now for a large developer in Pune. We're sourcing their AAC blocks for them. In fact, today we just received the PO as well. And we have also supplied close to about 100 metric tons of recycled sand for an eco-friendly developer based out of Hyderabad. The market size is pretty evident. Astonishingly, India is the 3rd largest in the world in terms of doing green buildings. It's a $39 billion market, and the green building materials, as we speak today, is 15.7 billion. And we know where the world is moving towards green building materials. It's a $532 billion market in 2025, and we know that India's construction market is moving towards $1 trillion. This is the roadmap. We started in May 2024. We went live. We are trying to look for funding this year, and our aim is to reach a GMV of 1.4 CR. We have already got a green finance solution in place where we have tied up with a fintech in Hyderabad to process green project loans as well as home loans. The intent was to go for trade credit, but we have to wait for getting that in the future. And then you can see the milestones year-wise. End of the day, we also want to have a carbon impact tool where we want to tell the buyer what's the kind of carbon reduction that they're having by buying these materials. And maybe by 28, 29, we would like to have an experience center because people would always want to see materials before they buy. And then, of course, integrate AI and analytics for a more smooth and seamless experience, as well as giving more carbon impact data. So I've been a developer myself. My early life has been into IT, and I've done a lot of ERP implementations in the US, UK, and India. Last 15 years, I've been into development, and that's the reason why I wanted to utilize this hybrid experience to, come up with the platform. This is our live platform. What we are trying to do at Hubeco is we're solving green building procurement inefficiencies for real estate and infrastructure players with an end-to-end digital platform that ensures trust, certification, and financing. So I have a small scenario which we can run the background. There's no voice to that, so in the meanwhile I can take the questions from the jury and the delegates. So this is a small scenario where we are requesting for a quote. So you will see a blend of buyer and vendor screens that you are looking at, because in the interest of the time I had to skip the login windows. So there are always SMS notifications and emails at every stage of the procurement process, which tells the buyer where they are in terms of the entire order process. And you can put all your PO terms here, which will come. And as the quote is approved, you will be able to download the PO as well as the quote. And then post the order completion and the payment, there will be an invoice that will be generated by the platform as well, where we intake the invoice number from the suppliers, because we cannot integrate with their accounting systems. And this is the buyer dashboard where they can see the quote detail, what they have received, and they can approve.
Should we also take the questions, SaiPadma?
Yes, of course.
Over to you, jury.
I think good work, good thought at least. All developers, all of us need to do something towards sustainability. We've taken a good step. My request with the jury is maybe we'll keep all the costs as questions within 2 minutes, and 1 minute we'll talk on your model, because that will be the favorite one.
Yeah.
See, there's no regulation telling construction or real estate developers to procure low carbon materials. Right? It is voluntary.
Absolutely.
So the market is limited. Either there may be some government incentives, or there may be some green conscious developer to procure. How do you see yourself getting limited by that, or are you doing something to stimulate the demand?
Yes, we are. It's a good question. So we already have developers who are going for either Gruha certification, Green Pro, LEED, and using green certified materials adds some points to them. So they are bound to use some materials. With regards to other developers, always with developers, it's the cost at the end of the day, right? So when a developer comes to us for a material, unconsciously, without his knowledge, we push the green certified materials, because we are working with manufacturers directly, and we try to match their cost or beat the existing cost. And that is where we are trying to make adoption of green building materials, although the developer is not mandated to take a certification. So that is also another push that we are trying to do. And of course, there are definitely a lot of eco-friendly developers out there who we work together, and they definitely encourage the use of these materials.
If you can give an example,
Yeah.
it's a curious.
Sure.
You procure a tile, let's say it's 125 rupees a square feet for me in the open market, Kajaria, XYZ, I just go and procure. But if you procure a 100% green certified tile, the way you say,
Yeah.
what will be the cost difference, and
So
what's the difference
basically-
in the material?
Right. So when we are talking about green certification, the notion is that it's an entirely new material. It is not. There are manufacturers out there who adopt sustainability practices. For example, there is a clay brick manufacturer on our website who exports two materials to Europe. And how they become sustainable is they have zigzag firing mechanism. They use some renewable energy. So the production practices are more sustainable. So we cannot come up with a new innovation every time. But of course, we also have new innovative products. We have bricks from recycled agriculture waste. We have a guy sitting in Hyderabad with a huge plant in Shamshabad near to the airport who collects the entire civil waste from the city and recycles it to sand. And it's been huge demand for that. Because it may not go into the slabs, but it may go into your plinth beam fillings, or it may go into your plastering. So those are the kind of use case scenarios that we are looking at today.
Do you have any compliance mechanism for the supplier as well?
Yes. So fortunately, we have IGPC as well as Gruha and APDs, which establish the sustainability certification. So we only approach these manufacturers because we know there's a directory of contacts out there. So we only approach these manufacturers and we only onboard those manufacturers. We are very, very clear on that.
And how do you insulate yourself from, say, for example, I discover one product on your platform and then it's very easy for developers to approach the manufacturer directly. So
Absolutely.
how are you sort of insulated from that?
Yeah, if I have to come to big developers like you, I know you won't even give me an opportunity to look at it because you have huge procurement teams, structured procurement teams. But
No, that's not true. But I would like to know, how are you insulated?
yeah, so we are looking at currently. I'm not looking at big developers. The reason being, they ask for credit. I'm sorry to say this. They ask for credit, which we are unable to offer right now. That is the system that I'm trying to put in place. Secondly, we are looking at small and mid developers who do not have structured procurement teams, and for them, cost is a big factor. And that is where we have realized, and we want to remove this notion in the minds of people also, saying that looking at sustainable materials are being expensive. They're not, basically. So we try to work with manufacturers who have their distributor and dealer network so that the transport costs are reduced, and we try to match the price of the developer. Instantly, when we go to a developer, let's say for example AAC block, we are looking at a developer based out of Pune. They're buying AAC blocks from a local manufacturer, and they're very, very eco-friendly, although they're not going for certification. So they wanted to look at the blocks that we have on the platform. We spoke to the manufacturer. We told them it's a 700 cubic meter of procurement that is happening now, and furthermore because it's a 45-acre project. So we got the best price for them, and now they have placed a PO with us. And of course, it came with the credit, but luckily the supplier is providing the credit. So wherein we are not able to do that, but we're facilitating the transaction.
Thank you, SaiPadma.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.